Welcome back again. Welcome to this section. And your topic is foggy figure. So, welcome to this part and let's start the topic.
So, till now, we were learning about countable, uncountable, and material nouns, right? So, I hope you're all clear with countable, uncountable, and material nouns. So, let's quickly do an activity and memorize all those nouns once again. So, this activity is based on countable and uncountable nouns only. So, we will memorize all countable and uncountable nouns through this activity. So, are you all ready? Yeah, that's great. So, let's go ahead and check what we have. So, see the countable and uncountable nouns and wiggle your fingers if it is a countable noun and rub your hands if it is uncountable noun. So, I'll show you a few nouns again. You just have to identify if it is countable or uncountable. So if you think it is a countable noun, you have to wiggle your fingers. If you think it is uncountable nouns, then you have to rub your hands. It's quite simple, right? So are you all ready to check what all nouns we have? Yes, that's great. So here we go. And what is the first clue? What we have? Benches. So what is bench? What are benches? Countable or uncountable now? Can you count benches? Have you tried counting? Yes, many times, right? In your school, especially in your class, right? Yes, so benches you can count all the time. So that's the reason why that will come under countable noun. So what you have to do for countable noun? Come on, wiggle your fingers. That's good. So benches, even though you have hundreds and 200 benches also, you will still be able to count. So it is always countable noun. So let's go ahead and check the second one. Money. So what is money? Is it countable or uncountable noun? Think. I said money, not rupees. There is a difference, right? Between rupees and money. Confused? Okay, let me give you a clue. Let's suppose you saw a nice watch in a showroom. Alright, so you obviously want to know the cost of that watch, right? So, how would you ask? What is the cost of that watch, or what is the money of that watch, or how much money is that watch? You will obviously ask what is the cost of the watch, right? Let's suppose it's 5,000 rupees. So, how am I telling you the cost? In rupees. That means 5,000 rupees. So, 5,000 is countable noun because I am counting that 5,000 in rupees. So, what is rupees? Rupees, yens, dollars, pounds, all these are nothing but currencies. Okay, so whenever you have currencies, like rupees, dollars, and etc., only then it will be countable noun. But money are the valuable items which you buy out of those rupees, dollars, pounds, and etc. So money will be uncountable noun, whereas currencies are countable, right? So don't get confused. Money is the valuable item or the valuable things, what all you buy out of those rupees or currencies, rupees or dollars or any currency, all that will come under money. So from head to toe, what all you buy out of those rupees, dollars or pounds, whatever it is, all that will be your money. So it includes your clothes, your jewelry, your watches, your accessories, and everything. But whereas currencies are countable. All right. So what you have to do for money? Rub your hands because it is uncountable noun. Alright, so let's check one more. Clothes. So what are clothes? Countable or uncountable? How would you buy clothes? Do we buy clothes in kgs? Not at all. We buy in pieces, right? Or how do you buy a sari? Or how do you buy your own shirt or trousers or your frock or blouse? You buy one piece after the other, right? So let's check the other one. Milk. Can we count milk? No, we measure milk. Alright? You cannot count one milk, two milk, three milk, and etc. You can only measure the milk. So whenever you measure anything or whenever you weigh anything, that will fall under, that's right, uncountable noun. So again, you have to rub your hands. So how do we measure milk? Either in liters, milliliters, or with the help of a cup or a glass or anything. So milk is uncountable noun. So let's check one more. Tables. Can we count tables? Yes, like benches, we can also count tables, chairs, and etc. So tables are countable noun. So let's check the other one. Perfume. Can you count perfume? No, you cannot, right? Like milk, like oil and water, perfume is again in either liquid form or in gaseous form. So you cannot count that, you can only measure it. So that's the reason why perfume is again uncountable noun. So what do you have to do for uncountable noun? That's right, rub your hands. So I hope now you know how exactly this activity goes on, right? So why don't you go ahead and check the clues by yourself and try to identify if it is countable or uncountable noun. Alright, so here you go. Stars. What about stars? Are stars countable or uncountable? No, it is countable noun. Even though you have many stars in the sky, it is always countable. Why? Because how do you think the ancient people have discovered our horoscopes and all? Only based on the position of the planets and the stars. So stars have always been countable from the ancient days onwards. And not only that, you also have a telescope called a Hubble telescope, which can actually count the stars. Alright, so stars are countable. So you have to wiggle your fingers. Now let's check one more. Flowers. What are flowers? Countable or uncountable? How do you buy flowers? We actually buy flowers in grams, right? Or in kgs. And sometimes if we have just one vase in our living room or on our study desk, then how many flowers can we put? Can we put few grams of flowers or few kgs of flowers in that? No, you can only put one or two or maybe 10 flowers. So that time it is countable. So flowers is both countable and uncountable. Alright, so let's check one more. Pizza. What is pizza? Can you count pizza? No, again, pizza, you cannot count the pizza as it is. So, altogether, the whole pizza is uncountable noun. Whenever you cut that pizza into 6 or 8 pieces, only then it will be countable. But as it is without cutting, it is uncountable. So always remember all the food items which are cooked will come under uncountable nouns. Alright, be it your pizza, your cake, or anything. Okay, why? Because how do you measure cake? We measure the cake in kgs, right? So similarly, pizza is also measured in grams. So whenever you weigh anything, then all that should come under uncountable nouns. So you need to rub your hands for this. But if the same pizza I cut it into 6 or 8 pieces, then individual pieces can be counted. Okay, only then it is uncountable. So a piece of pizza is countable, a piece of a cake is countable, but as a whole unit it is uncountable. All right, so next, what do we have next is rain. Can we count rain? It's impossible, right? Yeah, so it's again liquid, that is nothing but water, so it is uncountable now. Education. Can you count education? No, you cannot. So again, it is uncountable now. So rub your hands for that. News. Can we count news? No. Again, it is uncountable now. What about hair? Can we count hair? Have you ever tried counting hair by your own? No, it's impossible, right? Who would do that? Nobody. So actually hair is both countable and uncountable. How is it countable? Let's suppose you're combing your hair and few hair will fall down every day, right? So can you count those hair? Let's suppose you have 5 or 10 hair strands falling down. So can you count? Yes, you can. So the strands of the hair are countable, but when you consider it as a whole unit, then it is uncountable. Okay, let's suppose you're eating some nice biryani and all of a sudden you have one hair in it. How yucky it is, right? But still, would you be able to count that hair? You can, because you will obviously get one or mostly two hair in it, that's all. But you will not get bunches of hair. So strands of hair is always countable, whereas as a whole unit, it is uncountable. All right? So let's check one more clue. Advice. Can we count advice? No, not at all. So it is again uncountable noun. Heat. Can we count heat? No. Again, it is uncountable noun. So we can only measure heat in degrees or in Fahrenheit, right? So again, it is uncountable. Music. Can you count music? No, you can just enjoy the music. And again, it is measured in hertz. So uncountable noun it is. Fuel. Be it your petrol or diesel or any fuel. Can you count them? No. So it is again uncountable noun. Wind. That's right, it is again uncountable. So you have to rub your hands for everything. Smoke. That's right, it's uncountable. Fish. Is it countable or uncountable? Think. It is both again, countable and uncountable. So let's suppose you have an aquarium in your house and you want to put some fish in it. Obviously, if you have an aquarium, we like to have different colored fishes in that, right? So how many goldfish? Obviously, you want to have many different varieties of fish, like goldfish, some shark, some bluefish, and etc. Right? So how many fish you want, those many only you will count and then get it, right? So that time it is countable. Let's suppose I want 5 goldfish, 2 whales, and 5 bluefish. So I can count all those fishes. So that's the reason why fish will be countable. Whereas if you have fish in ocean or seas, can you count them? No, it's impossible. So that time it is uncountable. And also fish curry. What about fish curry? Fish curry is again uncountable noun. Okay, so remember, all the cooked items will be uncountable. Alright, so let's check one more clue. Light. Can we count light? No, not at all, right? So it's again uncountable noun. So rub your hands for it. Glasses. Can we count glasses? Yes, you can. So even if I give you 500, 200 glasses, also still you will be able to count, right? So glasses are always countable, be it 5, 10, or 500, you can still count those glasses. Let's check the other one. Weather. Can you count weather? No, not at all. So again, it is uncountable noun. So here's our last one, last clue. Books. Can you count books? Yes, you can count books, right? Be it 5, 10, 50, 100, how many ever books you have, you will still be able to count. So books are countable nouns. So what do you have to do for countable nouns? Yes, wiggle your fingers. So I hope now you're clear with countable and uncountable nouns, right? And did you all find this activity very useful? It was, right? So it's very simple yet interesting activity. So that was all about countable, uncountable nouns activity. So let's go ahead and check what we have next. Collective nouns. So we'll talk something about collective nouns. So as the name itself indicates collective, that means few nouns will be in a group. So for an example, who are you all? You all are students, right? So is students a collective noun or a plural noun? Yes, it's just a plural noun. It's not a collective noun. Then what will be the collective noun for students? Class. So that's the reason why you have class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, and etc. So class is nothing but a name given to plural noun. What is a plural noun? Students. Okay. So if you observe a classroom, how many people will be there? Do you call them people or students? You call them as students, right? So students is just a plural noun, whereas a name which is given to group of students is nothing but class, right? So class will be a collective noun. So I know you're not very sure about collective nouns, so we will discuss about collective nouns in detail. So what exactly is a collective noun? A name given to a group of nouns is called a collective noun. So not always you will call nouns as group of nouns. Okay, you have different names for different groups of nouns. So that different names is nothing but a collective noun. So I have an example here. Look at this example. A team of employees is working on the project. So what is a plural noun here? Employees. Okay. So employees is nothing but a group there. And what is team here? Team is nothing but a collective noun. Okay, so a team of employees is working on the project is the sentence, and employees is nothing but group of people working in that office, right? And what is the name I'm giving for that group of people? Team. So team will become a collective noun. So always remember, what are collective nouns? A name given to a group of nouns is nothing but a collective noun. All right. So let's check a few more examples. So collective nouns can be a group of people, it could also be a group of animals, and it could also be a group of things. So you have groups for people, animals, and things. So for each and every group, you have some name. So we will check all those names now. So for an example, people, under people we have family and crowd. So what about family? Family is nothing but a collective noun again. So you sometimes say it, right? My family members are very funny. My family members are going on a vacation. My family members are having some party and etc. So why do you have to say that family, and why do you have to say that members? Members is again a plural noun, or a group of people is nothing but members. You generally will not say people, you will address them as members. Okay, when three or more people live under same roof, then you call them as members. Okay, and when you have group of members together, then you call them as family. Okay, so similarly, when you have group of people at one place, then you call them as crowd, but you will not call them as members again. Okay, so crowd is the name given to group of people, whereas family is the name given to members. Okay, so family and crowd both are collective nouns for people. Now, what about animals? Animals also have collective nouns. For an example, troop of monkeys. So if you have group of monkeys together, let's suppose you have group of monkeys in one forest and they're happily enjoying going from one tree to another. So when you have that group, then you will not call that monkeys group. You will give a name to it. What is that name? Troop. Okay, so troop is the name given to group of monkeys. So you will say it as troop of monkeys, but not as group of monkeys. Okay, so troop is a collective noun for monkeys. Similarly, flock of sheep. Sheep is singular and plural both. So when you have many sheep together or at one place, then you call them as flock of sheep, but not group of sheep. Alright, so like that, for each and every different animal, we have different collective nouns. What about things? Yes, things also have collective nouns. For an example, bunch of keys. So keys is nothing but a plural noun again. So when you have many keys together, or when you have group of keys together, then you call that group or many keys as bunch, but you will not tell as group. Okay, similarly, deck of cards. When you have many cards together or in a group, then you call them as deck, but not group of cards. All right, so like this we have many collective nouns for people, animals, and things. So let's check all the examples. So here is my first example. So look at the first picture. What can you see in that first picture? Few people are singing, right? So when you have many people singing, or when you have many singers together, when you have a group of singers together, then you call them as a choir of singers. Okay, and similarly, look at that sheep. There you have not just one but many sheep. So when you have group of sheep together, you can call that as a drove of sheep or a flock of sheep. Both are correct. Okay, and similarly, when you have many giraffes together, then again you will call that group of giraffes as tower of giraffes, but not group of giraffes. All right, as group of girls or giggle of girls. Both are correct. And what are these people doing here? They are nothing but teachers. So when you have group of teachers together, then you call them as a faculty. So faculty of teachers. Faculty is the collective noun for teachers. Look at those flowers. Aren't they very beautiful? They are. right? So when you have a group of uh, flowers together, then you call them as a bouquet of flowers. Okay, and similarly, you have spiders, not just one but many spiders, right? So again, when you have group of spiders together, then you call as cluster. All right, so cluster of spiders. So cluster is a collective noun. And who are they? They are nothing, they are soldiers, correct? So when you have group of soldiers together, then you call them as army of soldiers. So army is again a collective noun which we use it for soldiers. So similarly, when you have many mountains together, then you call them as range of mountains. So when you have many ships together, then you call them as fleet of ships. And look at these lions. So you have many lions there. That means, again, there's a group of lions. So that group is given a name which is pride. So when you have group of lions together, then you should not say group, but pride of lions. So pride is nothing but a collective noun again. What about these? Look how many birds are there, right? So again, group of birds when you have, then you call them as flight of birds, but not group of birds. All right, and look at these stars. You have many stars there, right? So again, group of stars. No, you will not say as group, but you have a name for that group. That is nothing but a galaxy. So a galaxy of stars. Galaxy is nothing but a collective noun. So if you observe in these pictures or in these words, all the nouns like singers, sheep, giraffes, girls, teachers, flowers, spiders, soldiers, mountains, ships, lions, birds, stars are all plural nouns, right? So all those plural nouns are given a name for it. So all the names like choir, drove, tower, group, faculty, bouquet, cluster, army, range, fleet, pride, flight, and galaxy. All these are nothing but names given for those plural nouns. So what are they? What are those names? Those names are nothing but, you call them as collective nouns. All right, so always remember, when you give a name to a plural noun, or when you have group of things together, then you give a name to that group of things. So that name itself is called as a collective noun. All right, so let's look at a few more examples. So, though the collective nouns refer to more than one in a group, the noun itself is considered as a singular noun. So, what does that mean? As the name itself, group or collective. So, as it is collective, you should be still considering it as singular noun because you are already giving a name to it, right? So that's the reason why you should always consider the collective nouns as one unit. So that's the reason why you have to consider it as a singular noun. For an example, the choir of singers sings every Sunday at the church. So what is happening here? Choir of singers is nothing but a collective noun. So that's the reason why I am using that collective noun as a singular noun. So that's the reason why I have used a plural verb there. So the choir of singers sings every Sunday at the church. So always remember, when you have a singular noun, then you have to use a plural verb. When you have a plural noun, then you have to use a singular noun. Okay, and if you have a singular noun, then you have to use only singular helping verb. When you have plural noun, then you have to use plural helping verb. Okay, so don't get confused between helping verb and main verb. Helping verbs are nothing but am, is, are, was, were, has, have, and etc. right? But main verbs, we all know the main action, what that noun does, is nothing but a main verb, right? So here, choir of singers is considered as singular noun, so that's the reason why I have used it as a singular unit. So let's check one more example. Here comes the flight of birds from the Himalayas. So here again, flight of birds is nothing but a collective noun. So it is again considered as singular noun or a singular unit. So that's the reason why I have used a plural verb there, comes. Okay. So tower of giraffes is again a collective noun. So that's the reason why I have used it as a singular noun. So I have used only a singular helping verb there. So that's the reason why you have is. Okay. And let's check one more example. So here is one more example. A group of girls is ready to go for the party. So group of girls is again a collective noun, and that's the reason why I have used as a singular unit or a singular noun, and that's the reason why I have used only a singular helping verb, which is. Okay, let's check one more example. This bouquet of flowers is for my mother. So bouquet of flowers is again a collective noun, so that's the reason why I have used it as a singular noun. So that's the reason why I have used only a singular helping verb. So this bouquet of flowers is for my mother, right? So what do we have next? The army of soldiers was awarded for their hard work. So army of soldiers is again a collective noun. So that's the reason why I have used a singular helping verb. So it is was. So if I have just soldiers, then I would have used were there, right? So because it is a collective noun, I have considered it as a singular noun or a singular unit. So that's the reason why I have used only a singular helping verb. All right. So let's look at the last example. The galaxy of stars looks so beautiful. So galaxy of stars is again a collective noun, and that's the reason why I have considered it as a singular noun or a singular unit, right? So that's the reason why the verb there, looks, is plural. Okay, so the galaxy of stars looks so beautiful. So I hope now you got a clear understanding about collective nouns, right? So why don't we do a quick activity and try to find out the collective nouns for all these nouns. Shall we try? Yes? Don't worry, I'll help you out if you don't get any of the collective noun, alright? So deer, what about deer? Deer is again singular and plural, right? So you will not say deers, it is just deer. Okay, so what could be the collective noun for a deer? It's nothing but herd. So a herd of deer is the right one. Okay, but you will not say group of deer. Okay, what about musicians? What is the collective noun for musicians? That's right, band. So band of musicians. So band is the collective noun for musician. What about monkeys? Yes, we just learned that. So it's called troop. You would not say as group of monkeys, but you have a name for it. That is nothing but troop of monkeys. Good. What about shoes? That's right, a pair of shoes. So a pair is nothing but a collective noun for shoes. What about chickens? Any guesses? That's right. So it's brood. So a brood of chickens. Brood is nothing but a collective noun for chickens. What about nodes? Right, it's wad of nodes. Okay. Keys? Yes, we also learned about keys. So it's bunch of keys. Correct. So trucks. What about trucks? You will not say as group of trucks, but you have a name for that group. What is that name? Any guesses? It's called convoy. Okay, so a convoy of trucks. What about parrots? I'm just not asking about birds, but you have parrots here, one type of a bird. So if you have just birds, then it could be flight of birds or flock of birds. But what about parrots? A company of parrots. Alright, so company is the collective noun for parrots. What about goats? That's right, a tribe of goats. Birds? Yes, we all know this. So it is nothing but a flight of birds. What about horses? Any guesses for horses? No, it's not group of horses, but you call them as team of horses. Okay. What about carts? We also learned about this, right? It's called deck of carts. Yeah. What about puppies? So a litter of puppies. So litter is the collective noun for puppies. What about people? Yes, we also learned about it. So it's a crowd of people. So if the same people are attending some concert, then you call them as audience. Okay, but you will not call them as crowd. Okay. What about workers? Yes, group of workers. Books? You know this. I think you also have this in your school. Any guesses for books? What could be a collective noun for books? Yes, somebody guessed it right. So it's library of books. Okay? Library is the collective noun. What about ants? A colony of ants. Fish? A school of fish. That's right. Photos. We all know this. That's right. An album of photos. Pearls. Girls love to wear pearls, right? How do we wear pearls? In a string. So, a string of pearls. What about students? We also have discussed about it, right? So it's class of students. What about hay? That's right, a bundle of hay. What about wood? No, not a bundle of wood. You have something else for wood. What is that? It is nothing but stack of wood. Okay? So these are all nothing but collective nouns. So as you observe, each and every noun have a special name for its own group. Okay, so that special name is nothing but a collective noun. So I hope we also have discussed about we have done a recap about common, proper and compound nouns as well, right? So I hope you have good understanding about all those nouns, and I hope you will not get confused either. So that was all from me for today. I think everybody is clear with all the nouns, what all we have discussed in this topic, right? So till next time, please be safe, keep revising, and be happy. Bye-bye.